ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीं अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि। भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। ये क्या आवाज है? ये आवाज किसका है? वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। फर्स्ट फ्लोर पे हमारे बिल्डिंग पे कुछ हो रहा है क्या? पक्का? My namaskars to you all and to all the people who are listening to this class, this talk over YouTube. As revered Maharaj, revered Satyadevanand ji, the people who might have heard him on the last Friday. So, in accordance with the guidelines issued by Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai, we can have physical participation up to 50% of the total occupancy. So, in line with that, the people who feel and find it comfortable, so they can join the talks, they can attend in person these programs, these lectures which are organized for devotees. They can come and attend in person. That is the point. So, we are here in the 6th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and In the last class, we completed the discussion over 23rd verse, which we saw as a set of verses from 20th to 23rd, 4 verses, which as if they show the epitome or maturity and fulfillment of this yoga and what happens, how this some of the verses. So like 22nd verse. So ideal is again and again placed, and a means, a path to it is again and again explained. We find this time and again in Bhagwan Sri Krishna's approach when he is mentoring his pupil, the Arjuna. So here again, after in the 23rd verse, we saw that verse, tam vidya dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga samnitam sanishchayena yoktavyo yogo nirvinna chetasa. So thus explain until 22nd verse, Bhagwan says that is what which causes the severance from this pain and misery. That is what is known as yoga, and you have to pursue it yoktavyo, with resolve. So nishchayena yoktavyo, and not only resolved, he gave another characteristic of the mind, with such a mind that yoga must be pursued, that is anirvinna chetasa, the heart without any gloom, without any, it is not to be that heart is not excited, neither it is depressed. So the freedom it must discover when he or she is practicing yoga, and with such heart only this yoga is to be pursued. So how that is to be pursued, how that state is to be brought, again Bhagwan speaks of the process, the means, the path, how it is to be observed, how it is to be followed, how it is to be practiced. And again earlier he spoke about the practice from verses number, you will see from after say from verse number 10, yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasi sthitah ekaki yat chittatma nirashihi aparigrahah. So he put this condition, how this yogi, he will bring this samabuddhi, which was spoken in the 9th verse, samabuddhi vishishyate. So this yogi, he will constantly employ yunjita and try to reside in his own heart, atmanam rahasi sthitah, try to remain, try to as if live in a seclusion, as if ekaki, and then yata chittatma, his heart thus controlled, he is not letting his mind loose into the world. That is mean by being in the world and still keeping his seclusion. He is not losing his mind into the world, ekaki, that is what. It is not that he gives up and lives in a forest, then there is no point of disciplining the mind. Even if somebody has to do that, but its objective and ultimate taste of the disciplined mind is in chaos. That peace has to be maintained, that quietude has to be maintained. He must be able to see the total rest in total restlessness. That is the ideal Bhagwan is putting. Ekaki. Ekaki means he will give up the world and live in the forest. If it is required for the time being, alright. But ultimately, it is not. He is preaching this to Arjuna, who is going to wage this this intensive war on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So naturally, it cannot mean that go give up and live in a forest or in a cave. So ekaki yata chittatma, and nirashi, that not maintaining any expectation, any hopes, and aparigraha, not to take what is not what is not dutifully or rightfully his. And then he gives instruction from verse number 11 how to select a seat, and how that seat should be, and there you concentrate your mind for the purpose of shuddhi of your heart, how your body you should held straight, and how you should as if concentrate your mind on the tip of your nose and not to look at any other side. And this is how this few ideas comes. Then ideas about in general moderations, that natyashnatastu yogosti nachaikantam anashnatah, that not to do overdo anything regarding your eating or any your normal day-to-day behavior. Na chati swapnashilasya jagrato naiva charjuna, not to oversleep it, not to keep awake too much, not to eat too much, not to not at all eat. So these ideas, this moderation, this is what he spoke about. Now we see now rather more these instructions of a deeper level, of a subtler level, while dealing with the mind. How you train your mind. Now these ideas, these instructions, Bhagavan is going to give from this set of verses which we see 24, 25, 26, so to say, these three verses. What does he say? So, verse number 24th. So it reads as Sankalpa Prabhavan Kaman Tyaktva Sarvana Sheshatah Manasaivendriyagramam Viniyamya Samantatah. Again, Sankalpa Prabhavan Kaman Tyaktva Sarvana Sheshatah Manasaivendriyagramam Viniyamya Samantatah. So this is 24th verse. What does it say? So first word, it's a big word, and in Sanskrit language there is this grammatical term, it is called as samasa. So when two or more words are in speaking in the language of Sanskrit, they are called as padas. Padam singular, padaha they are plural. Padani, sorry, because it is a neutral gender, so padani, so many. So for the sake of convenience understanding, we will take this pada, this translate this word in English as word, because pada has a meaning, a word also has a meaning. So sankalpa prabhavan kaman tyaktva, this has become one, this conjoined, a big word, a complex word, in which there are different words. So sankalpa prabhavan kaman tyaktva. So this word is described as Shankaracharya describes it, Swami Gambhiranandji and Swami Swarupanandji also. So they says this sankalpa means as in sankalpa vikalpa, which is the faculty of the mind, which is the behavior of the mind, which is taking some cue, it start to create thought waves. It creates. That is the ability of the mind. It is imagination. So if you wouldn't have that ability, you wouldn't be able to think. So it gives it takes a cue which is brought in by the information from your senses, which you may see, which you may hear, which you may read, something like that. You may smell. You smell something, you immediately starts, oh, like I think that is the mother is cooking like this. So right now I will go for food, or I will go for later, etc. It starts creating now thoughts, taking that information, based upon this information. It starts to create, that is called as sankalpa. And opposite to that is vikalpa. One is pro-action, which sets a motion, that in pursuit of it, maybe due to fear of it or maybe due to lure of it. It can be anything, but it is pro-action. Vikalpa is negative, to abandon action. Maybe due to fear of it, maybe for whatever reason. You might think so, to not to do certain action. Negative action is there. Vikalpa. Sankalpa and Vikalpa. In these two formats, mind creates thought waves. So, in Vedanta psychology, so what is it said? Your antakarana. It is called as antakarana. Karana means instrument. It is your antara means inner instrument. That is called as antakaran. Antakaran is inner instrument. Its literal translation is inner instrument. That word is given by our rishis of past years. Our rishis of the past. This is what they have given its name. It is inner instrument. So what are outer instrument? Your hands maybe, your speech maybe, which is directly, which you can convey to the next person. So inner instrument which acts within yourself, and outer instrument which can act in the outside world. So this inner instrument, antakarana, it is called as antakarana chatushtaya. It is one, as well as it is said that it has four faculties. It is of the four formats, of the four nature or four aspects. There are this inner instrument. It can function in four ways. So what are these four ways? And accordingly, the same thing is known by the way it is functioning. So this antakarana is referred as, according to its function, as mana, then buddhi, then chitta and ahankara. These are the four aspects or four ways this instrument, this single thing functions. You can call it four, you can call it one. So this, the way when we call it one, how it functions? In the form of sankalpa and vikalpa. Creating thought waves, taking a cue from the information which is brought in by the indriyas. Sankalpa, pro-action or against action. Sankalpa, vikalpa. So, and these are the other ways, buddhi. So this is, I had explained it earlier also. So, and here in short I will just touch it. So buddhi is the deciding faculty, the decisive faculty. Mind does not decide. Mind creates a wave. It is like a courtroom drama, you may say, that mind is like a lawyer from the both parties. One is for and one is against. And they are arguing, but they cannot take the call. And there is a judge who is evaluating both the arguments. And then in their arguments, these lawyers, they are citing references to the earlier decisions, how they were given in such an instance. They are drawing parallels. And judge, when want to thoroughly check those, he give order to the person who maintains those records of the past and bring up those files. So there is a repository of old decisions, old impressions, old arguments laid. That repository can be called as chitta. That repository can be called as chitta, which stores the past impressions. So lawyers, they are like mana. They are in the form of, they are arguing in the form of sankalpa as well as vikalpa, for and against. There is a judge who is evaluating. There is a judge who is evaluating a particular argument in a particular context, and he gives the decision. Maybe to the in favor of one of the party. And what is ahankara? Ahankara is the person who is sitting in the audience, and accordingly in that particular matter he feels happy or unhappy. According to the judgment of the judge, he feels happy or unhappy. He gives rise to that reaction, which is according to if that judgment is beneficial. That person or the faculty who gives rise to that reaction of being affected one way or other, that is called as ahankara. So like in a courtroom drama, so there is a man who is arguing, there is a judge who evaluates, compares the argument with respect to the repository of the past. That repository of the past can be called as chitta. And when he delivers a decision, and as accordingly it is felt by the person, he becomes happy or unhappy, that can be called as ahankara. This is how your inner instrument functions in a scenario. Immediately mind can work faster than any computer probably imagine. So within a moment it starts creating thoughts. It can feel it compares to your the what information you have with your past. So your chitta provides it, and your buddhi takes the call. So it decides. And at the same time, when you feel happy, unhappy, etc., this reaction this your mind gives, this faculty is called as ahankara. So sankalpa prabhavan kaman. So desires which, so this word, this complex conjoined word, it can be interpreted, that is the beauty in Sanskrit many times. They can be interpreted in various ways. So sankalpa prabhavan kaman. So it can be said that kaman means desires. Desires prabhavan, which are born out of. Prabhava means which the birth. Prabhava is birth. So sankalpa, prabhava and kama. So how this kaman, desires, it is in plurals. Kama is single, kaman is plural. So these desires which are born out of this sankalpa, of this imagination. Sankalpa also means what you say, a resolve. Sankalpa also means resolve. So when you decide, when you resolve to do something and your desires sprout from it, sankalpa, you are already decided and your thoughts are progressing in that direction, desires in that direction. So your desires which are born out of sankalpa or out of imagination, or it can also mean your desires which gives rise to sankalpa. Sankalpa prabhavan kaman, the kaman, the desires which gives rise to sankalpa, that your imagination which gives rise to some kind of showing you way to some kind of action, that I must do this. That whenever such desires which you are inculcating, when you are harboring, when you are nurturing in your heart, and they are showing some way. Suppose I am thinking of suppose in Amazon. So one particular thing, suppose one phone I am thinking all the time. So I am deciding, I am imagining, I am evaluating my option whether I should purchase this now or at the time of Deepavali, or maybe at the end of the year when there will be good discount, and that so many ways my mind is thinking whether it should do now. Now these desires, they are indicating some action. Some action is that you must purchase, you must do something, you must book that phone, or you must save the money, etc., etc., etc. They are giving rise to, desires are giving rise to sankalpas. Sankalpa, one form or other, they are giving rise to action. Now, in any way put, action and desires, this Kama and karma. These two things. They are these things. If you are inculcating in your heart, this mind cannot meditate. This is not possible. So, the person who is going into meditation, at that time being, he must, as far as a practitioner is concerned, one who has not become adept, who has not become master of it, for that person, because as long as he has not done that, he has not got rid of it, desires will be always there. There are so many things upon a mind, there are so many things to be done. It is not only for out of his interest, but maybe many are duty bound. So, in any case, when he is sitting for meditation, suppose I am working in the office, there are so many works I have to do, but when I go for meditation, I must have that ability now to keep those thoughts away. So any work is to be done. Tomorrow when I go to office, I will attend to that business. So my mind, it should have that ability to not to now hang on to it, getting dragged by those things and create a storm in your heart, only thinking about this thing. You are not going to do anything. You are 1 hour, you are going to sit for meditation. You do not have to think. Suppose there are this overthinking. This is a kind of our weakness, our attachment. Even if somebody says to you, you do not have to think for it. I have already planned, I will tell you. But this fellow, he is not able to get rid of that. What must be his plan? What could be done? If I know, now itself I will start preparing anything. You cannot do anything. Overthinking. It is as if weakness, and many people pridely clings on to it. That is the worst part of it. It causes a lot of suffering. You do not have data. Many times, he imagines it. Somebody is late. Suppose your brother, sister, or your daughter, anybody, your father, mother, somebody of your loved one. So why he must be late? Why is not coming? So many things. Every person will think in his own way, creating sankalpa, vikalpa. He is not able to shut that down. The storm of thoughts, the storm in the mind is stirred up. This mind cannot meditate. This mind cannot meditate. So, the sankalpa which is born out of desires, or desires which are born out of sankalpa in any way. So, these desires and this sankalpa, they must be given. One should be able to give that up, sarvan asheshatah, that without any reserve, asheshatah, that nothing remains. Absolutely. And your mind should be free of the drag, free of that burden. And that mind is able to meditate. So this is must, that one has to generate that ability with training and with discipline, whether my mind is heavy with these things of the drags. So many things, if there are on the mind, this mind cannot be employed to the meditation. This mind cannot go into meditation. So, sankalpa prabhavan kaman tyaktva sarvan asheshatah. These giving up completely, absolutely. Nothing remains, no remnants of it lingering. Because even if little is there, your mind will still hold on to it and create another storm. That is the nature of the mind. It will take a cue and it will again start creating another new sansar. This is the nature of the mind. Sankalpa prabhavan kaman tyaktva sarvan asheshatah. So, and after that, so this is the condition, that you cannot have at the same time harbor so many things in your mind, and you can think of, your mind will concentrate. You must have that ability to give that up, at least for the time being, when you want to practice this discipline of yoga. So, and this is the first line of this verse, and the second line says Manasaivendriya Gramam. So this is again a Samasika Shabda. So there are three words or two words, you can say Manasa. Manasa, this is the third case. So with the making your mind as instrument, that with the help of mind, you have to do that. Manasa eva, with your own mind. Indriya Gramam. So Indriya Gramam, it means Grama is not some kind of village. So Indriya Gramam here, it means the total bunch of your senses, all of the senses together. So Manasa eva Indriya Gramam, this all your Indriyas, your sense organs. So this is possible. And Viniyamya Samantata, Viniyamya, that you discipline it. Niyamya, Niyam means rule. They are properly ruled. Viniyamya, properly. This V prefix with this niyamya. Niyamya is controlled, brought under some control. Niyamita, niyamanam. So these words are used. Niyamya, properly ruled or properly controlled, properly disciplined. Viniyamya, visheshena niyamya. So properly means in accordance, it is not just by brute force, but these indriyas, they are supposed to cooperate with you, with your will, with your desire. Desire of what? Desire of doing meditation, that to be quiet and not to stand up, not to create any hustle. So what does it mean when indriyas are thus controlled? So indriyas are there, but they are not engaging. Not engaging means, so your eyes, they are open. Things, data is being collected by your retina. It is brought into your indriyas, which are inside of you. But they do not process that data and bring to the mind. Your mind does not register whatever is been seen, whatever has been heard, whatever has been smelt, etc. So your mind, when it is not giving any cue, any further provocation to your mind, mind is absolutely making itself very clear of any burden, any drags, any expectation, any inclination to create another thought waves and go into meditation. Try to become very still, not to create any waves in it. So this is what going into the meditation is like. So, and who will do that? Who will convey this to your indriyas? Mind only. Your mind must be, that's why, so convinced, and that's how it will convince your indriyas not to provoke it, not to disturb it in any way. So this is the state. This is how the ones that mind is trained. There are various incidences in Sri Ramakrishna, for example. He gives example of a person who was, sitting on the bank of a pond. He was catching fish, and he was he had put the bait and that float, and with the string and that bow, he's waiting when that float will, it will move. It means that fish has taken up the bait, something like that. So he is so engrossed. His mind is so completely and absolutely concentrated in it. It is thinking no more. And what happens? That time, a marriage procession passes away behind him. His back is turned towards the road. His whole concentration is in the mind, on his job. So mind is absolutely in such a steady state, in such a state of as if a trance, that his mind has become one with what small thing he is doing there. and that marriage procession passes away. You know how the marriage procession will like. So many people are going. Probably there is singing, dancing, so many things. Maybe there are musical instruments. They are going along the way. There are trumpets, drums, and etc. There might be animals like horse, elephant, anything. So you can imagine. So a lot of turmoil. So one person, after that marriage procession passes away, he is the person who want to join that marriage procession, but he had missed it. He is late, and after some while, that person comes and hopping, popping. He is saying, "Hello, Mister. You have been here. Have you seen the marriage procession? Which way it has gone? Can you tell me?" And this person was totally in a concentrated mood, in that trance. He has no awareness of the surrounding, and he says, "What marriage procession? I do not know since how long I am here. I am not aware if any marriage procession has gone by. My mind was totally concentrated." So his ears are there; they are absolutely functioning well. There is no question about it. But his eardrums, they have noticed the sound, but his mind, those indriyas, those sense organs, they didn't convey this to his mind. So there is no registry of these things, that something of such making such noise has passed by him. It is absolutely possible. Many times it might even happen to us. So sometime our friends say, "Arey, so many times I have been calling you, you are not hearing." So you might be absolutely engrossed in the work at your hand, etc., etc. So some things, so you are in such a state of the mind that mind refuses to accept any other invitation by any other signals given by your internal system through indriyas, or even how you forget your food, your hunger or your thirst. It happens when you are absolutely engrossed in something. Your body, your guts, they are going to convey to the mind. Mind is not registering it, because it has absolutely totally given to one point. So as if mind, if it is running a big center, where so many their attendants are receiving signals from so many people, all his employees of the mind, they are working at only one point and no other windows are functioning. That is the state of the mind, that is the state of the concentration. This is how that manasa eva indriya gramam viniyamya samantatha. Samantatha is means very well, comprehensively. Absolutely, that is the meaning of this. From all sides, samantatha, that is the meaning. So this is the 24th verse. Bhagavan says here that you have to give up this desire born out of this sankalpaha. That are desires which gives rise to sankalpaha, which gives rise to some kind of action. You must give up that absolutely. Sankalpa prabhavan kaman tyaktva sarvan asheshatah. That giving up this asheshatah sarvan, all these desires, asheshatah, that without any reserve, without any remnants, there is not a thread sticking to your mind. It is absolutely free of it. There is no drag, there is no burden, there is no stain of all those thoughts or whatever you have to do, your sankalpa and your desires. So, and having done that, manasa eva, so your mind is freed, your mind is conveying its absolute resolve to go into that meditation, to travel into that realm of meditation, to enter into that meditation that is conveying that do not disturb me anymore, O all indriyas. So manasa eva indriya gramam viniyamya samantata, comprehensively controlled. It is not control of the mind. If mind is engaged in controlling that, so mind is there engaged. We want mind free of that, so that indriyas cooperate perfectly and they are not creating any hustle. So that is the properly ruled viniyamya samantata. It can only mean in this way. So mind is not engaged anymore in controlling those indriyas. Because I have said it in the last class, that as long as you are fighting, there is no chance of winning. So as long as you are engaged in that, you are not free of that. Your greatest ability is ability to ignore it. That is the greatest. That means it cannot lend any impression upon you, any effect upon you. It cannot touch you. You become so great than that. Then all those, that level, you rise from that level. Manasa eva indriya gramam viniyamya samantatah. So this is thus your mind prepared. And Bhagavan will go on speaking again in these couple of verses, in the verse number 25th and 26th. So this is how Sri Krishna, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, is explaining the state of meditation, the process of meditation to his pupil, to his shishya, to his disciple Arjuna. So we will take a break here, and we will continue this set of verses in our next class. So next Sunday is 26th, which is the birth anniversary Tithi Puja of Holy Mother Sarada Devi. So in temple, though devotees will not be allowed to participate in person because of this MCGM guidelines, and in the wake of this Omicron virus, BMC Commissioner has again reiterated his strictness to abide and follow the guidelines, not to overdo or overzealous in our emotions or sentiments, and conduct ourselves accordingly. So in any closed spaces, including our temples, they are allowed to remain open for devotees to visit, etc. But with the caveat that temple at no point of time will have more than 50% of the people, 50% of its occupancy. So suppose our temple can hold 300 people, it can never have 150 people or 100 people. If it can accommodate 200 people by their estimate, by a general estimate. So in such case, so we know that our numbers of our devotees, they are very large, and especially on Sundays, it is impossible task. So to have people even in rotation, because there will be huge gathering outside the gate of the Ramakrishna Mutt, and BMC Commissioner has again he has put into the words that the offenders will be strictly dealt with. So we hope that nobody faces such kind of scenario. Even in that case, our normal functioning and conducting puja in the temple, it can be disturbed. So we will display through our YouTube channel and the whole puja, bhajan, singing, prasad distribution, etc. That also is barred by the COVID guidelines. So we hope that with this passing year, with the December, and new time is a new year started, let's say from this birth anniversary of Holy Mother. So we hope these waves of the virus, it goes down and normalcy slowly returns to our life. With prayer for the well-being of all, we take the break here. We will meet then in the next Sunday, after this Sunday, after 26th. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.